they used to be known for, well, I used to personally know them as the team that was one of the first teams to actually come up with like interesting strategies, such as like the quick response stealth jump mechanic. And then they were offline for a while, but now they come back in full force, and now they're all right here and they're ready to play. So here we go.
So we are going to be looking first, I believe, from the perspective of Tentacle difficulty, specifically Brian, who is contemplating playing that Wasabi Splatter Shot, a very, very nice weapon. One of the better weapons introduced in Sheldon's picks, which will be coming out with that Splat Bomb and that Ink Strike.
And at the same time, I'm also very curious to see what sort of picks SRL has. If anything, it's probably going to be very similar to their usual setup. We were able to face them yesterday, and they're very, very aggressive.
So we have, so far, a Wasabi, a Gold Dynamo, which, as I've mentioned before, on this map can be absolutely devastating. And then we have Sneaky playing that newest variant of the Slosher. Now, Sneaky, I know, is a Slosher main, so expect to see the Slosher in some form or fashion from Sneaky the entire game. But here we go. Game number 1 between Tentacle Difficulties and SpeedRunsLive in this best of 5.
All right, so SpeedRunsLive is running the Gallop Deco. They have a bucket, and I believe that was a version of the Dynamo. Not sure if it was the golden one or the regular vanilla Dynamo.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a bucket on both sides here. So SRL going to be bringing in a Tri-Slosher, one of my favorite weapons. And now we have the perspective of not Little Square. It is actually Firefly, a.k.a. Albino Albatross. One of the few, but also one of the most adept Bamboozler mains in the scene. And that's going to end up being a trade onto Alpaca, who is going over with that Wasabi Splatter Shot.
Yeah, that was actually a very interesting start off. I'm very curious to see what, or how much ground that the Bamboozler is actually going to be able to cover from the left side. Did you happen to see a sniper on this team?
I'm not sure, actually. We do see, though, that there's 2 down, and SRL is already doing one of the most important things that you can do on this map, which is lock down your enemies closed. If you can get their alleyway under your control in your team's ink, it is absolutely a breeze to lock down this objective, especially on splat zones, because this center point on the map is the only part that you have to focus on.
Oh!
And a beautiful, what looked like a double snipe there, coming out from red.
Snipe.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. At the same time, too, I also have to give much respect also to the Dynamo player on SRL right now. They're actually doing a great job, or the Dynamo is actually doing a great job of locking down the zone, or at least for a good portion of that before the double kill by the sniper happened.
So that was a well-placed burst bomb there, but not able to follow up with the final shot from Albino, and that's actually going to be 70, the number where Tentacle Difficulties is going to stop here as SRL looks to get rid of their penalty and take over the zone. The Ink Strike is at the ready for Albino. He's probably going to back off and fire it off here. There's 2 down now for both teams, and that's going to be a retake of the zone for SRL. They will likely retake the lead here.
It seems like TD is going to have to come in they're going to have to actually refocus a little bit of their efforts if they want to be able to make a push right here.
Wow.
Beautiful Dynamo play by Sky. I think that was a double kill.
That was a double kill indeed. So Sky doing very, very well there, but it's not enough as SRL still is going to maintain control of the zone all the way to 42, which is getting into that dangerous area. We do see the Gold Dynamo, though, for Tentacle Difficulties. I believe Sky trying to hold it down, not able to trade his Albino as Sky will end up getting that kill. Now 3 down for SRL, and it looks like
that
this will be
is
the comeback potential for Tentacle Difficulties.
Technical Difficulties looking very strong. It seems like the second half of this game right here, they were able to manage to push everything together. It seems like they're pushing they're making a little bit of a push together now, but unfortunately that opportunity to camp there on the left side of the map is not going to actually pull any favors for them.
SRL desperately trying to get back, but they are going to lose the lead. They do not get back in time. So now Albino has another Ink Strike at the ready, doesn't end up needing it as SRL is able to take away the zone and give a penalty to Technical Difficulties without it. Only 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Still a lot of time, actually.
Beautiful play here by the Wasabi. He's going to have to be a little bit more careful. He was able to secure a kill, but not really going to be able to make any... Oh, never mind. They were actually able to secure the point right here.
Yeah, that's great for Technical Difficulties. That extends the penalty on SRL's part. They have to work through 38 penalty points and then get another 6 on top of that to retake the lead. We do see Brian almost has that Ink Strike at the ready, but they don't even need it. He's just making sure that they don't get past, and Tudos is going to go down to the wall on the bomb on the splash wall routine. That's something we've seen with increasing frequency lately.
Well, we have a bubble right here. The Tri-Slosher trying to secure as much as he can. Unfortunately, was not able to do so.
So Swiffy's going to go down there, but Brian will fall to 2DOS as SRL is able to take over the zone, but 28 points is now the number to beat with under a minute and a half left to go. That's a pretty crucial echolocator coming out. We can see that all members of Tentacle Difficulties are backed up pretty far behind the zone. They're going to have difficulty getting back in for the next 10 to 12 seconds.
This is by far already a really explosive match. This is just only game one, too. It's like, if anything, it's been pretty back and forth. Right now, SRL is actually closing in with a little bit of a lead. Oh, never mind. They were able to actually pull it out to the other side.
A full wipe on the side of SRL by Tentacle Difficulties. So under a minute left to go. And Tentacle Difficulties has a good opportunity here to get rid of their entire penalty and also extend their lead. So this is looking very good for them. It's going to be kind of a desperation push here for Albino and the rest of SRL. He has to back up here as he's getting focused to make sure that he can't get up to that sniper platform, which is where a weapon like the Bamboozler excels. Only 40 seconds left to go, and they are absolutely scrambling.
Oh, SRL now, the tables have turned completely for them. It seemed like they were in such control of this match in the very beginning of portion, but now TD's just completely turned this around. Alpaca.
Beautiful kill there. He's going to actually get behind Alpaca and has time to fire off the Ink Strike. That should take away the zone, at least for the moment, from Tentacle Difficulties, and they will. The bubble also getting popped by SRL. Now 8 is the number to get to, but SRL has to work through a penalty, so overtime will absolutely be necessary for them.
Sneaky goes down. 3 people on Tentacle Difficulties are down. Now it seems like it's up to Tentacle Difficulties to make sure that they can actually get back into the game. But unfortunately for them, they actually do have the lead. Here we see the Ink Strike going to probably be fired towards the center of the zone.
SRL having to back off a little bit. Albino just camping this zone. 2 down yet again for Tentacle Difficulties, and SRL's gotten rid of their penalty, so there's a real chance that they'll be able to do it. Ending Strike coming out here for Tentacle Difficulties.
Oh!
They lose control very briefly, but SRL's going to take it back. A Kraken getting popped here for SRL.
This is
10,
nuts!
9, and they retain the lead. SRL, in comeback fashion, takes game 1 over Tentacle Difficulties.
Wow! Oh my god! It seemed like this game was just so back and forth. It was explosive. This is a game 1, folks. If anything, we're going to see a lot more of this.
If any set has the potential to go to Game 5, I think this is one of them. Albino, whose perspective we got to see for a good amount of the game, going 11-5, had a bit of difficulty there in from about the last minute to the last 30 seconds, but got a very crucial kill and was able to get back on the zone, put down the Ink Strike and those burst bombs to help take it over, and from that point, SRL never looked back.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for tower control on Flounder? This is going to be very interesting. A lot of the firefight, I imagine, is probably going to be taking place on the rooftops.
Yeah, and I believe that top elevation is going to be really important because the tower just spawns right below there. They're going to want to secure it from above and get that high ground, make sure that anybody who's trying to flank from up on those walls is going to be stopped right as they get over the top of them. So we are probably going to be looking, at least in part, on the perspective of a Luna Blaster switching over to SRL. We see that Swiffy is going to be going from the Tri-Slosher to the Carbon Roller. Carbon excels on this map more so than almost any other map. It's a great flanking weapon.
Definitely. I'm also very curious as to some of the other picks that they have on their on SRL's team. I'm very curious to see what the play for the Barry Pro is going to be. Of course, the CRB is an absolutely fantastic weapon. It'll definitely be able to aid in defending the tower.
So kind of interesting to note SRL not bringing with them a bubble to share with their team. They will have a Kraken, though, which is not really in any danger as this tower path doesn't go over any water or any open spaces where they could fall off the tower and not get back up in a timely manner. And as you said, that Barry, going to be an interesting choice. Sneaky switching over on the other side of things for Tentacle Difficulties to the Tri-Slosher, so they will have a bubble.
So this is going to be a very interesting question. Both teams scrambling to the rooftop, they're probably going to try to see what sort of plays that they can make off here. Oh, 1 down already for Tentacle Difficulties.
Yeah, and Tentacle Difficulties has a sniper with them, which is something not a lot of teams opt to bring because it can be difficult to find those shots. We do see Albino is going to be in the back line, but in the meantime, as he gets the kill on red, Tentacle Difficulties is still pushing that tower, so they may have overextended just a little bit. Those were still very good kills, but the tower is already pushed to the 65 point, and it's still pushing. He comes back, though, and is able to get a very clutch kill there to stop the tower push.
All right, so we're already at 61, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see like a complete knockout. If anything, I imagine it's going to be very back and forth, just like the last game. The leader right there. Oh,
Wow.
Mantu's getting a very, very clutch kill right there. Red looking good. Probably going to try to push in towards the center with the rest of the teammates.
And I definitely want to mention Albino's loadout here, running quick super jump and recon. This is a build we almost never see in the competitive Splatoon scene. Recon becoming a little bit more popular, but quick super jump not popular at all. I think Albino has worked on this at a good amount. I've seen it in a tournament before, and he's one of the few players brave enough, I believe, to try it. On that death, though, not able to build up any more charge toward that bomb rush, and Sky will continue to make pressure and get map control at the top part of the map.
If you would let me take a moment just to sort of extrapolate a little bit more on this build, because I'm very curious. So usually whenever I actually do run super quick jump and recon, I find it very useful for ink strikes, but I'm very curious as to see the application with the berry. That is also, I've never quite seen that before, so I'm very interested to see the method behind that.
Yeah, so you see the jump back there. They're going to get knowledge of where the enemy team is, and then immediately with that quick super jump, he's going to be back in the action. Going to try melting down the sniper again, but will only find a single shot. Only about halfway to that bomb rush, which Albino, I don't believe, has gotten to use all game. They had it built up once, but died to the sniper, and that push was extended a little bit ago to 58, so still going to be a pretty tough road here for Tentacle, or for SRL, pardon me, but they're not out of it yet.
So now we do, the Luna's actually securing it well for the team, able to get one kill right there. Going to try to see if they can play a little bit more defensive before they make a strong push. They do have the lead, so they don't really have too much to worry about here.
Being flanked around there by the Inzap, Tudos is going to go down, not able to find the kill onto Brian, who gets a couple of nice shots off, getting closer and closer to that bomb rush. They're trying to make the push again. A trade there with Swiffy is going to result in both of them going back to spawn. Both of them run quick respawn, though, so they will be back in no time flat.
It almost seems like that trade is not really going to be that much. It's not going to really count for much. They're going to be right back into the action right away. Ooh.
So Albino does secure a kill there onto Alpaca and also does have that bomb rush at the ready, but again will die to the sniper. Beautiful shot there by Red, who's running some tenacity and some special duration. So they are relying, I believe, on that Kraken in case the tower gets too close. But this is SRL's best push so far, and they are trying to keep it going. But a beautiful direct is going to shut down Albino, and that is a 3-down situation for SRL.
It seems like with the minute and 50 seconds left on the clock, SRL is scrambling to try to see if they can actually get some sort of push here going. They've been gunning it for the tower as much as possible, but it seems like Tentacle Difficulties is very quick to respond with the defensive.
SRL does have some good map control going for them on their street, but they're trying to get it back here. Red's going to go down, I believe, with her Kraken in tow. That's a huge kill as Albino can't secure the second, but Swiffy comes in as their savior and is able to take down Sky. 5 members dead total, 3 of those being for Tentacle Difficulties, now 3 for SRL, so not really a good opportunity to push for either side.
Well, it seemed like they had another little push there. Firefly actually had a very interesting push there. As soon as he was able to take out Red, he was looking towards taking out someone else, but unfortunately he was sidetracked by 2 other players that were also quick to respond to Red going down.
And Red seems to be having a pretty decent game here as Swiffy has a field day up top there with that carbon roller. Such a good weapon from close range. We are now under a minute left to go, and this is very close. 15 points separate a lead from the current best point of distance at 58. And so SRL really has to play carefully, just trying to take down that beacon and build up that bomb rush again. The cherry, or the berry now trying to tame that Kraken is successful in doing so. The Kraken will run out, trying to find a kill, but gets sniped by Red. Almost forgot about Red, and Red is going to come away with the kill. 2 down now for SRL.
Firefly is doing a fantastic job flanking from the side. He was able to almost get a couple of kills off. And then, unfortunately, though, once again, Tentacle Difficulties being able to respond on the defensive just so quickly. Also, I wanted to make another point with regards to the map control. It seems like on their side, SRL is going to have a bit of a tough time trying to push with all the map control that Tentacle Difficulties has.
SRL very desperately trying to get some of that back with only 10 seconds left to go. Albino not really that close to a bomb rush, which they'll need for that push. We see Swiffy on the tower, but they're 2 down. They're just trying to jump to the tower as quickly as possible. It looks like Tudos is going to pop a Kraken. Albino's going to jump to the tower.
Goodness.
We've reached overtime, but he doesn't make it in time. A nanosecond away from reaching the tower is enough for Tentacle Difficulties to retain the game and tie the set at 1.
That's... wow.
Unbelievably close to making it. A 17-13 performance from Alpaca, as well as an 11-4 coming out from Red. Red being very effective on that E-leader.
I couldn't quite believe it. That super quick jump was just... I thought I was going to be able to actually hold onto the tower for a little bit longer and extend the overtime, but unfortunately, not really the case.
Even with all that stacked quick super jump, not able to make it to the tower in time. That close. And that could have been a takeover again for SRL, but now we're guaranteed a Game 4, and we'll be moving on to Game 3 for the moment. Rainmaker on Bluefin Depot.
Yeah, game 4, never mind that. I want to be able to see a game 5 here.
It's very possible based on how close these two games have been. They have been literally neck and neck for a good portion of each game.
It's an unbelievably hyped set, let me tell you.
I'm so glad we're getting to watch it. And from one person on each team's perspective as well.
Yeah.
So looking at the team comp of SRL here, Swiffy going to be switching over pretty much from one range extreme to the other, going from the Carvenor, one of the lowest range weapons in the game, to the E-Leader, one of the highest range weapons in the game. He'll be going with the custom variant for the beacons and that Kraken.
Oh, that's such a switch. I barely know anyone who actually has mastery over two such different weapons like that.
So Albino going to be sticking with a Bamboozler. Square going to go over to the CRB, and 2DOS going to stick with a shooter. This time, the Octo Shot is going to be coming out for them, so they will have an Ingzuka for that long range. They're going to have to really focus on map control, focusing on those two court areas on the bottom part of the map. That middle area is going to be so prevalent, especially when it's Rainmaker, where that's where the objective spawns.
TD looking very strong. They have the Zimmy, they have an E-Leader, they have a Tentacle, and I believe I saw another Tri-Slosher. Oh,
wow.
A snipe coming in strong from TD.
Red getting a beautiful opening snipe there. You can't ask for a better opening there if you are Tentacle Difficulties, forcing a 3-down situation onto SRL, and that'll be a takeover of the zone very easily. Or of the Rainmaker, pardon me, for Tentacle Difficulties. What a dodge there by Albino, and the Rainmaker will be stopped at 72. Not a safe push at all.
TD looking really strong with a 72 push right off the bat. It's still 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, or it's left in the game.
The Bamboozler is such an interesting weapon. You're basically just tap-shotting the entire time. Alpaca's going to go down, so that's 2 kills effectively there for Albino, and he'll pick up the Rainmaker right before popping the Echolocator. He won't get the opportunity to. The Kraken coming out from Tentacle Difficulties, and the Sniper Red will fall, but the Rainmaker will fall as well. 2DOS and the Rainmaker falling to what I believe to be a double kill from Sneaky.
And this is now SRL's time to push. So they actually managed to get the lead, not by much, but I'm guessing. Oh, never mind. Commentator's curse. I was going to go ahead and say that they were possibly going to be trying to see if they can get something else, but fortunately for them, they were able to secure the lead.
And this is your first major obstacle as the Rainmaker carrier, right? Getting up that wall, getting from around the low 70 mark up to around the 60s or 50s. That's your first major hurdle. The second one is getting on top of those grates. If you can make it onto the grates, that's a relatively safe push. Both teams are 2 down here, so it's going to be a little while before they get back to the Rainmaker and have a chance to carry it, but map control currently still mixed. SRL trying to remedy that.
Seems like Brian right here is going to try to see if he can actually make a couple of plays here, just to, right in front of the Rainmaker. It has been popped already, so both teams trying to contest it out a little bit and try to see before they actually make a push.
Yeah, this game still seems like a bit of a bloodbath on like something you might expect on a map like Black Belt, even though this is a much bigger map. The bubble is going to be popped here. Now going to be sharing it. The Ingzuka going to be popped as well, trying to get the Sniper before they can pop Kraken, but Albino is playing with fire here.
Kraken
almost able to pop the
unsuccessful.
Kraken. So close, but Red able to get the better of him.
Trying to Kraken tame with a Bamboozler. I've never seen that before.
It was almost successful too.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it was almost. I was almost worried that he was just going to back away right into the pit right there.
So Tentacle Difficulties with the Rainmaker very, very close to taking that lead over. Dodging the Kraken barely. Square is going to go down there to a well-placed shot there from Brian. Also Kraken taming as well, trying to get a shot onto the Sniper. They're dancing, ducking, diving around this box,
shots.
And neither one able to secure a kill.
Oh, just a little bit more for TD. They managed to get the lead.
That was such an interesting play. He jumped off the map, but in doing so, got the extra couple of points that he needed to take the lead by a single point.
So the price for their troubles, fortunately for getting the lead for them, they were able to go 3 down. Now SRL is looking pretty good, and they're going to be able to push on the left side of the map.
They have a path to jump up, and they do get the lead again by a singular point. We're trading leads back and forth by 1 point apiece. Unbelievable here, but this is another pop. Square going to be running the Rainmaker, trying to get as far as she can. 3 down for Tentacle Difficulty, so this is a good opportunity for SRL to push forward, getting all the way into the 40s and now looking to go to the 30s with 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go. 32 is the number they'll get to. A fantastic push on this map.
That's unbelievable. Paka unfortunately tried to buy as much time as he could for the rest of his team, but it was just not really meant to be SRL, but getting it to 32, looking really strong right now. Now TD is going to probably try to see if they can reset it a bit and try to regroup, if anything.
Yeah, Albino with some interesting positioning there, staying on that box in case Tentacle Difficulties was going to try and push up that wall. Red with beautiful positioning there, able to take down Albino, has that Kraken at the ready as well, so nobody will be challenging her for a long time, but that's 2 down for both teams. And again, not really optimal timing here for Tentacle Difficulties to try and push the Rainmaker. They'll have to hold off for a few seconds.
Albino's definitely going to have to be careful there when he's trying to pop the Rainmaker. Red is just making easy targets for anyone who's in a position to get punished.
Albino dancing a bit on stream, can't go into squid form and swim around on this tarp area. It's impossible to ink, so he's just using the fact that his weapon can strafe around very, very easily and get a kill there onto Alpaca. Now he's being challenged by a bubble, not going to be able to take that out, but that is still 2 down for Tentacle Difficulty, so it's possibly going to be an overtime push if they want to have any hope of taking the lead back.
Thankfully, I believe that Albino is like utilizing that move run speed build for his Bamboozler to the fullest. Even when he was disrupted, he was actually able to move quite well.
Yeah, we also see some run speed here on Brian as well as some quick respawn and stealth jump, but that again is 3 down. SRL in rare form here. They really want to try and secure this one going forward, taking a 2-1 set lead, but there's 15 seconds for Tentacle Difficulties to get to the 31 mark. The Rainmaker shield has been popped. I think Tentacle Difficulties is holding back, trying to get as much map control as possible before they make that final push.
5 seconds left on the clock. Honestly, it's looking like a no man's land with both the leaders fixed on the center.
Oh, the Kraken's popped. Albino couldn't secure the kill. He's trying to tame him now. The Kraken not going to be able to tame him on the tarp here, but no, not able to get the Rainmaker and carry it over to overtime. They lose the Rainmaker in that time, and SRL with a fantastic game 3, they'll take a 2-1 set lead.
That 32-point push right there was honestly what sealed the deal for them. Tentacle Difficulties being amazing as they are defense, unfortunately, they were not able to when they lost 3 squids on their team. SRL was able to quickly capitalize on that, and they were able to push in for that 32-point lead, and I guess that was just it. Everything else was just left up to the defensive.
Shout out to Square for going 12-8 in that game, but we have to talk about Albino's Kraken taming. Had a good opportunity in the middle of the match there to do it, and missed by the last swipe of that Kraken, and then was able to do so at the very end of the game, so I'm so glad we got to see that. Using the tarp to his advantage, it's much better suited for him than it is for a Kraken.
Kraken taming with a Bamboozler, might I add. That is not an easy task.
Only somebody like Albino with hours and hours and hours, hundreds if not thousands of hours put into a weapon like the Bamboozler can achieve such a feat and know when to be able to tap shot and get those effective hits onto the Kraken so that they can't move forward. He's going to be looking to stick with it here, just switching to a different variant as we move into Game 4, which will be on Museum de Alfonsino. This is honestly one of my favorite maps, especially when it's in zones.
I'm very curious to see what both teams are going to be taking. I'm very curious. I say I'm very curious because like both teams actually don't have a Dynamo. Usually Dynamos are very good with this. You can throw the Sprinkler onto one of the spinners, and it's able to cover a lot of turf. But it seems like both comps are here looking to be very offensive. The Zimmy looking like a very like a great weapon to just sort of like grab the bubble with, and keep the zone with such a very strong push.
Yeah, the major difference here is that Brian, for Tentacle Difficulties, is going to be running the splatter scope here, and the longest range weapon that I believe SRL is going to have is that Bamboozler coming out from Albino. So if Brian can set up in a good spot here, it looks like he's trying to hide behind this plat wall. He can get some really clutch snipes. Could have found the Zimmy there, but the Zimmy was bubbled, and now he's going to share a bubble with his teammate as he attempts to push forward here. Teams both taking and retaking the zone back from each other. We haven't seen any significant progress from either team.
Fortunately, though, it seems like Tentacle Difficulties looking really good right now. I also want to just point out the fact, like, really early on, both teams managed to get bubbles so quickly.
Right.
Fortunately, though, SRL was able to get theirs first, and they were able to secure the lead.
We're actually seeing a litany of specials here as the bomb rush was used, followed by the bubble. He'll have to jump out. Good positioning there and good timing to get away from that bubble user, but all the while, SRL ticking down that zone even further.
Narrowly dodging that Zimmy before he was able to actually jump back to the base. Tentacle Difficulties now looking to see if they can actually get a lead.
And they're in a good position, too. They got SRL to be 3 down, and Brian is very, very close to that bomb rush. So if SRL does decide to make a push, he will have a good amount of map control pressure, unless he dies like that to the burst shot combo of Albino. 3 down now for Tentacle Difficulties.
He was carefully guarding the right side of the map, trying to see if maybe he can actually secure a kill off of anybody who's managed to get unfortunate to fall within Brian's snipes. but Albino seemed very prepared for that.
Wow.
Was able to get him back for a retaliation kill right there.
Effectively a tap shot war, the winner of whom is the Splatterscope. Brian actually gets the kill there with the bomb rush onto Swiffy. Dodges the Kraken as well as the bomb rush is going to run out. Now trying to find a kill on the Octoshot, but Red will come to his aid, and now trying to look for the Bamboozler, who is staying up on that higher elevation. A flick shot, and a beautiful one at that will force SRL to be 3 down. Both teams actually going 3 down here, as the lead could change into Tentacle Difficulty's hands.
And it almost seemed like a sure thing to me. Oh, never mind. They're definitely.
Stopped. They were actually both at 59, and a penalty given. A beautiful defense by SRL at the very last second, but this game still has over half the time remaining. It's not nearly done yet.
Before I even have a chance to even whisper or like breathe the fact that they're probably going to be changing advantage here, seems like both teams are very quick to respond, and now SRL still with that lead.
Bomb rush coming in, and now the bubble being shared as the Ink Strike comes out from SRL. It wasn't enough for SRL to retake the zone and give a heftier penalty to Tentacle Difficulties. They now have to work through 22 points if they are able to retake the zone. The Zimmy not quite to their bubble yet, but Brian not able to get out. A beautiful shot combo coming out from Albino, and it's a 3-down situation for Tentacle Difficulties. Again, not a conducive environment for them to try and retake the lead, even though it's just by a point.
This is utter chaos just for the 1 point. Well, actually, no, never mind. It's going to be more than that now. Not by much. 6 points. But even then, it seems like for any point lead, both teams are just going to be absolutely very furious to actually be able to get a lead right here. Oh, what a fight!
Wow! And Albino has been the bane of Brian's existence. It must have felt really, really good to get that bomb kill on him and the flick shot as well. Now the bubble's going to come out from SRL. They're sharing it with 2 members as Swiffy is able to go down with 2 DOS and try to advance. The penalty has been worked through here for Tentacle Difficulties as well, and SRL is 2 down, so there's a good chance here that they can retake the lead as Sneaky goes down. SRL looking to provide a strong defense, but it won't be in time as Tentacle Difficulties is able to take the lead.
This is fantastic. So one thing I wanted to point out too is like whenever I see SRL trying to close in on the zone, I always feel like they're throwing at the bubble way too early. Whenever they try to make any sort of significant push, the bubble just wears out, and then the team is left to fend for themselves.
Yeah, they use it preemptively instead of actually getting on the zone with it, and by that time, I don't think any of them are running special duration with it, so it's going to run out in about 4 to 4.5 seconds. 4 left to go on this zone. Can SRL get back into it? It stopped at 3, and a major penalty of 59 is going to buy SRL some time, if nothing else.
With 2 down, it's not looking very great for them. Oh, never mind, 3 down with a bomb rush. That bomb rush has been coming in so clutch for Brian.
Yeah, that wasn't even a necessary Ink Strike there. We see Albino is going to go down there to Sneaky. Some well-placed shots there from her Tri-Slosher. 32 seconds left to go. SRL has the difficult task. Look how light blue this middle part of the map is. This Swiffy's going to go down, I believe, to the bomb of Brian. So they're using the bubble yet again, as you mentioned, preemptively. And it may not work out for them as they won't be able to build up another bubble in time.
I really feel like SRL has to be able to make a plan to sort of come back together as a group. Otherwise, they're just going to be cleaned up like this.
This is an absolute massacre. 3 down on the side of Tentacle Difficulties, 2 down on the side of SRL. Will they have enough time? 5 seconds left to go. They are probably going to take it into overtime here.
If anything, I'm honestly predicting that we're going to be most likely seeing a Game 5, to be honest.
It's going to be very difficult for SRL to work through their penalty and get to 2. 2 down for Tentacle Difficulties, though. Now 3 down, but SRL is also 2 down. Brian is melted there by the Zimmy. 3 down for Tentacle Difficulties, and 2DOS has that bubble at the ready, and SRL has worked through their entire penalty. There's still maybe a chance.
SRL advantage right now. They're going to be able to see if they can get some more map control, making it very difficult for Tentacle Difficulties. This is a massacre in the center right now.
The bubble getting popped from Sneaky, but it's not going to do anything. Sky also going down. 2 down here from Tentacle Difficulties. Still working through this zone. 22 left to go. They need about 20 points left. The bomb rush is coming up from Brian in desperation. Will they be able to stop it? An Ink Strike and a bomb rush isn't enough. SRL desperately painting it, and they will stop them. SRL not able to go down in time, getting to about 15, but Tentacle Difficulties forces a Game 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Wait, this is best of 5, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, we are in a Game 5 right now. This is going to be nuts.
The Ink Strike and Bomb Rush combo coming in so huge. SRL doing everything that they can to try and stop it, and they got through their penalty and got all the way down to 15, but you can't stop 2 specials and multiple squids painting that zone. They were able to take it back in time, and by that way they were able to force a Game 5 against SRL.
They just poured everything that they possibly could, scraped together the last second and said, let's just paint the zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time in the quarterfinals we have been able to reach our Game 5, which is a very, very fun map and mode combination, tower control on Kelp Dome.
Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and predict a lot of invincibility specials right here. We do have a Kraken, actually 2 Krakens, and 2 bubbles actually with this setup right now on Tentacle difficulties. It seems like they're very ahead of. They know their game plan, definitely. They want to be able to actually make as much of a tower push with those invincibility specials. If I was to take a guess.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, for this map, tower control, you're not in danger at all. You're completely safe when you're using your invincibility specials. The worst that's going to happen is you're briefly going to get bounced off the tower, and then you can easily get back on. So things like invincibility specials are going to be great. Another thing, maybe a Dynamo or a Splatling, that Zimmy might opt to get up onto those grates and take the high ground. That'll allow them to build up their special and get some map control, as well as melt people from afar. When you're below like that, there's not too much you can do.
Seems like SRL has opted for a little bit more of a different strategy. Of course, Albino sticking with his Bamboozler. But we're seeing, I do believe I saw 2 Disruptors, actually. That should be very interesting for tower defense pushes. If anything, SRL might try to see if they can get a push and then try to see if they can hold it off as much as possible. They do have the weapons and the kits to do so.
Disruptor's going to slow your movement down for several seconds. It's going to be a very valuable tool in locking down your opponent's positioning. It's going to be, it looks like, SRL taking the zone first. Square's going to go down. SRL has pushed it, though, all the way past 70. A double kill there from Brian, but it's going to end up being a trade, and that's a 3-down situation now for SRL. The push will likely stop at 64.
A 2-for-1 situation coming up, but at the same time, SRL was very... for the price for their troubles, of course, 3 members of their team down. They were actually able to get the lead to 64. Now TD is possibly going to try to see if they can switch things in their favor.
Now switching over to Albino's perspective, kind of sharking around as Tentacle Difficulties is making their first push of the game. A nice whale coming out from 2DOS is going to stop the tower, at least temporarily, in its tracks. Still 3 members alive, though, for Tentacle Difficulties, as we see both a Bubble and a Kraken. That might be a bit preemptive, but at least it will give them the lead, and I think for now that's all they want. Albino coming away with 1 kill, but just 1, and the push will continue for Tentacle Difficulties.
All the invincibility specials with a map on this, like this, with tower control, there is no gaps, there's no pits, there's nothing to fall into, so you can freely use anything, chain everything together. Duration also would help out on this map. I'm not sure if any members on TD actually chose to opt for any duration on their invincibility specials.
Map control very much in favor of Tentacle Difficulties right now. Albino trying to pull off some kind of flank, almost has the echolocator as well, going to pop it immediately and spot out the members of Tentacle Difficulties who are sort of separated. Sky is going to go down there, and another team member able to take out the second member of Tentacle Difficulties, so 2 down for them. A push to 46 is not too tall of an order here. Albino with some great positioning, but he will get disrupted and taken out pretty adeptly by Sneaky.
Sneaky, very quick on the reaction right there. As soon as she was in trouble, she was able to turn around really quickly and be able to get that double slosh on Albino.
Yeah, Sneaky running a perk Cold-Blooded that we don't often see anymore after it got nerfed, but it can be very, very effective in mitigating the effect of either a point sensor or an echolocator. That'll allow her to flank around a lot more and get kills like she did on Albino. We see Tentacle Difficulties trying to push again. All members of SRL are alive, though, so unless they have specials, it probably won't extend their lead any.
Honestly, even with 1 squid down, Tentacle Difficulties were very quick to actually push on the aggressive. They're not afraid of SRL at all, by any means.
More than halfway through this game now. The match has been mostly split. A beautiful kill peeking around, doing some right side peeking, which doesn't expose much of your body, but still allows you to shoot over there, is able to secure the kill. Now Albino trying to do another Kraken tame, but the Kraken of Red will succumb, or do better this time, and is able to get the kill. Now a 3-down situation for SRL, and we may see an extension on the tower push here for Tentacle Difficulties with 2 minutes left.
It seems like Tentacle Difficulties really has their game plan together for this match. I predicted the invincibility specials are going to come in very handy. So
wow!
Even with 1 member down on their team, 3, including that Kraken that's right now sitting on the tower, is going to be able to push as much as possible. They are not afraid.
And again, Tentacle Difficulties using their invincibility specials very early. We already saw a Kraken and a Bubble getting used. Red not even over by the tower, just opting to use the sniper aspect of their weapon and try and take people out from afar. It's looking very effective so far, although the tower push now going in the opposite way, 1.5 minutes for SRL to retake the lead.
TD is definitely in control here. They're calm. They don't really seem like they're making that many mistakes. They're not opting to push too forward. If anything, SRL is more likely to make mistakes. Sneaky, where did she come from?
Living up to her name for sure, able to get the kill onto Albino, and that's now a 3-down situation for SRL, so that's going to mitigate and push back the progress of a lot of the specials of Team SRL, so they're going to have to try and build up those Krakens again, and that'll take another good 20 to 30 seconds, so they're going to be reset back about that amount of time. They won't be able to get a good push off until about the 30-second mark.
Once again, the Red and the rest of the TD crew.
Wow.
Utilizing as much of the map control that they have. I think they're capitalizing a lot on the fact that they do have a good portion of the map painted in their favor. So they're just going to be able to hide in every nook and cranny, build up their specials, and play the waiting game. Because they totally can. It's in their favor.
Honestly, this is going to be tough for SRL. The map control in favor of Tentacle difficulties is so high, even over by the tower. Red is sitting back with that Kraken in tow. I believe the bubble is also ready for Tentacle difficulties, but Alpaca is actually going to die, I believe, with their special, but an extension on their lead is going to come out for Tentacle difficulties, and even if SRL is able to get the tower back, they'll have to take it all the way through mid again and take it around the tree to get anywhere close to a lead.
10 seconds left on the clock, coming out with that killer whale, knocks out most of the members on TD. This is going to be the last chance that they're going to have to be able to get the tower. This is it. This is it. The final moment. Oh!
The tap shot coming out. Can Red get on the tower? She finally does. That is your game 5. Overtime comes out, but Tentacle difficulties able to win this set 3-2. An incredibly close set and a fun one to watch.
I can't believe they were able to clutch it out. They were absolutely both teams were absolutely phenomenal in this set. Taking it to game 5, making it absolutely enjoyable for the rest of the people to watch. Oh, I'm just at a loss for words.
Red
this has
and
been
Sneaky
fantastic.
absolutely popping off with 15 and 12 kills respectively. That, I don't know about you, but that was one of the most fun sets I've gotten to witness here.